What would your life look like if fear were completely silenced? No temporary pauses, no manageable compromises, no negotiations, but entirely absent. Imagine waking up each day without hesitation, without second-guessing yourself, and without that internal voice telling you that you're not prepared, not worthy, or simply not enough. What decisions would you make? What opportunities would you seize? Which doors would you courageously kick open? And what dreams would you chase with fierce, unstoppable passion? The reality is that fear is not the enemy. Surrender is. Fear is a natural primal instinct. It whispers warnings and alerts us to danger. However, it only gains power when we comply with its demands. Every time you allow fear to dictate your actions, when you choose to shrink back instead of stepping forward, you sacrifice power for comfort, trading growth for safety. You become stagnant, not due to weakness, but because fear has convinced you that inaction is synonymous with survival. But not today. Today, we confront fear for what it truly is: a liar, a mere fabrication, a shadow that masquerades as reality. We will not defeat it with superficial platitudes or empty excitement. Instead, we will confront it with honest truths, disciplined practices, and a purpose that transcends your excuses. In the next few minutes, you will learn how to stop running from fear and start actively pursuing it. You'll discover how to stand tall even when your hands tremble, how to act before fear can take hold, and how to cultivate a mind so sharp and disciplined that fear has no refuge. So, take a deep breath, step forward, and don't look back. This is the moment you dismantle fear. Let's clarify. Fear isn't your opponent. It's a survival instinct, embedded in your biological makeup to keep you safe. In many ways, it's what has preserved your life thus far. Yet fear was never meant to lead you. It was not intended to be your guide, your advisor, or the arbiter of your decisions. Unfortunately, many allow fear to take the wheel, while they wonder why their lives seem to perpetually go around in circles. You feel fear when you're about to step into the unknown, when you're facing something risky that disrupts your sense of comfort or control. That sensation isn't a sign of weakness. It's your brain performing its natural protective function. The truth is that it isn't fear itself that halts your progress. It's inaction that truly serves as the enemy. It's not the fear you experience, but the pause you take as a result of that fear. It's the missed opportunities, the silence when you should speak up, and the dreams that get shelved for another time. Many people wait for fear to dissipate before taking action, hoping to feel brave or certain first. But that moment seldom arrives, because courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to— Those who move mountains, change industries, and make history face fear too. But they push forward, regardless. This is the pivotal shift. You don't need to be fearless. You simply need to stop allowing fear to command your actions. Fear can accompany you as a passenger, but it shouldn't be in the driver's seat. Here's where the real power lies. As you confront fear, it diminishes. Each time you act in the face of fear, you train your brain to understand that fear does not mean stop. It means something important is at stake. You begin to interpret fear as a cue to step up. Repeating this behavior rewires your reality. And the more you confront fear directly, the less control it has over your life. You can become a person in whom fear cannot dwell, because you've conditioned your mind to act before fear gets a chance to settle. So, remember, the next time fear surges in your chest, you don't need to eliminate fear. You need to amplify your movement. Don't overthink, don't analyze, and don't negotiate. Just act. Momentum is the kryptonite to fear. And the instant you take action, fear begins to fade. Fear is an expert storyteller, crafting lies so convincing and emotionally charged that they can feel like the truth. The harsh reality is that fear is indeed a liar, and its most damaging fabrications are those about you. It whispers that you're not ready, smart enough, or talented enough. That if you try, you will fail. If you express yourself, you'll be ridiculed. If you pursue your dreams, you will crash and burn. Because fear uses the familiar voice of your own mind, it often goes unchallenged. You accept its narrative as reality, not realizing that it's merely a story, a tale you've replayed so often that it feels like truth. Fear thrives on imagination, magnifying moments of uncertainty and creating a dramatic narrative around them. You don't just worry about a difficult conversation. Rather, you envision it going catastrophically wrong. You don't merely hesitate to embrace a new challenge. You foresee your failure in front of others, leading to humiliation and proving you never had what it takes. This is how fear triumphs, not through truth, but through repetition. The more you rehearse the worst-case scenario, the more your nervous system accepts it as reality. When your brain perceives a threat as real, it sends distress signals throughout your body, triggering a fight-or-flight response. In that state, even the tiniest step forward can feel insurmountable. However, here's the breakthrough. If fear is cultivated through repetition, so too is confidence. If fear is a story, you also possess the power to write a better narrative, one where you speak and are heard, where you leap. This battle is not external. It takes place within your mind. The moment you refuse to accept fear's script and start crafting your own, you regain control. You don't have to feel brave to act with bravery, nor do you have to feel certain to move forward. You merely need to stop granting fear undue authority. The voice in your head can be powerful, yet it doesn't always tell the truth. The greatest deception fear propagates is that it sets your limits. But those limits are not real. They are mere signals, indicators that you are standing at the precipice of growth. What happens next is entirely within your control. Fear flourishes in darkness, in avoidance and silence. The more you evade it, the larger it looms. The harder you try to outwit it, the more insistent it becomes. Because fear refuses to shrink with time, only with exposure. This is where many falter. They await courage before they leap. They hold off until fear subsides before taking the first step. Yet courage is born from action. It emerges because of it. Picture yourself standing before a frigid swimming pool. You can dip your toe, walk away, and return tomorrow, overthinking it endlessly, all while remaining cold just by contemplating it. Or you can jump in, shocking your system, but ultimately allowing your body to acclimate. Within seconds, you discover that the fear you imagined was exaggerated. That's the essence of exposure. It's not about being fearless, it's about being willing to experience the discomfort and still forge ahead, willing to stare uncertainty in the face and declare, "You are not the end, you are merely the beginning." This is how you eradicate fear, not through avoidance, but through exposure. You lean into what terrifies you, engaging with the uncomfortable until it becomes familiar. The more you confront it, the less hold it has over you. Speak even when your voice quivers, show up even when your hands shake, launch your ideas even in their imperfect state, and ask questions even when you dread the answers. This is your work and your training ground. Repetition will reshape your reality. The first time is daunting. The second time is uncomfortable. The 10th time becomes routine, and by the 100th time, you achieve freedom. The individuals you admire, be they speakers, leaders, creators, or fighters, did not begin their journeys with fearlessness. They started from a place of fear, but chose not to remain stagnant in it. They cultivated resilience to discomfort, and confronted challenges head-on until the thunder of fear no longer rattled them. The truth is, fear may never fully depart, but you can stop flinching at its whispers. You will no longer shrink when it surfaces, because you have faced it enough to recognize it merely as a sound, a signal that doesn't hold the final word. You do. Marching straight into the storm, not because you are unafraid, but because you understand that the other side of fear holds the life you have yet to experience. And that is a price worth paying. To truly conquer fear, you must address its origin, your mind. Fear doesn't stem from the external world. It starts with the thoughts and silent, invisible narratives you perpetually replay within yourself. Stories of inadequacy and peril, scenarios of how everything could go wrong. These tales play on a loop, shaping your reality without your conscious awareness. Here's the crucial truth. If you don't actively train your thoughts, they will train you. If left unchecked, your mind can devolve into a battlefield where fear always prevails. But you are not destined to be ruled by fear. You are here to reclaim your mind, to reassert control and rewrite your narrative. It all begins with the potent realization that you are not your thoughts. You are the author of your story. As the observer of your thoughts, you possess the power of an architect and a programmer. You are the one who determines which thoughts are allowed to take root in your mind. When fear whispers that you're not ready, instead of simply accepting it, challenge it. Respond. Says who? When it claims you'll fail, reply, maybe, but I'll learn. Flip the script. Disrupt the patterns that hold you back. Each thought you entertain is like a seed, and what you nurture will flourish. If you cultivate fear, you will reap a harvest of hesitation. Conversely, if you nourish courage and inundate your mind with intentional, powerful, and disciplined thoughts, boldness will become your default state. This journey isn't about blind positivity. It's about purposeful mental conditioning. Just as athletes train their bodies, warriors hone their reflexes, and musicians perfect their techniques, you must train your mind. Use affirmations that reinforce your worth. Visualize outcomes that drive you, and repeat mantras that make greatness familiar. Speak your desires into existence until they become part of your identity. Act on these affirmations daily. I am calm under pressure. I confront fear and act regardless. I don't shrink. I expand. These declarations aren't mere words. They are commands that your subconscious absorbs. Remember, your mind learns by observing your actions. When you take bold steps, when you act despite feeling nervous, when you speak up through trembling hands, your brain takes note and realizes that you're capable of overcoming challenges. This is how your identity transforms, and fear loses its grip. You are not weak for feeling fear. You become weak when you allow it to dictate your actions. Discipline your inner world, and the outer world will conform to your will. Protect your thoughts fiercely. Disrupt the lies that seek to take root, and replace them with truths. Remember, you always have a choice. Fear may visit, but it only stays if you consider reframing fear, not as a stop sign, but as a signal. What if the things you most dread are actually the avenues you are meant to explore? For many individuals, fear translates to don't or stay safe. However, fear often serves as a compass pointing to the boundaries of your comfort zone, the very boundary where significant growth begins. That sensation of unrest in your chest, the trembling in your hands, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a reminder that you're on the brink of something significant. It indicates that your spirit is nudging you towards a moment of truth. As the most daunting challenges, be it public speaking, launching a business, or leaving a toxic relationship, can often serve as gateways to personal growth. These challenges are not threats, they are opportunities. The key to unlocking your potential lies in taking action, not in pursuing perfection or awaiting certainty. Move forward into what intimidates you. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to act in spite of it. So, when fear arises, don't retreat. Instead, lean in. Allow it to refine you, burning away your excuses and transforming itself into fuel for your journey. The resistance you feel is a sign that you are approaching something significant, your true calling. Understand this: fear never fully disappears, at least not for the truly brave, successful, or legendary. Instead, they learn to coexist with it and keep moving forward, even amidst the uncertainty. This is what defines them as fearless, not that they are devoid of fear, but that they refuse to be commanded by it. Next time you encounter fear, express your gratitude. Acknowledge it, but firmly declare, "I see you, but I won't be stopped." Then take that leap, make the phone call, hit publish, and say yes or no to what challenges you. The moment you embrace the discomfort, fear will begin to lose its hold, making way for freedom. Here's the uncomfortable truth: you won't become fearless by waiting to feel brave. You don't eradicate fear by merely feeling. You dispel it through discipline. Motivation can be fleeting, a spark that ignites excitement but is often short-lived. Discipline, however, is a steady flame. It's the driving force behind a fearless life. When you train yourself to act, not just when you feel like it, but when action is required, you become formidable, untouchable. Remember, courage is not a dramatic display. It's a series of daily decisions to show up, to tackle the tough tasks, and to persist in discomfort, time and time again, especially when every fiber of your being screams for safety. The truly great understand this principle. They don't wait for the green light of confidence. They act, and confidence follows. They don't hold out for fear to vanish. They forge ahead regardless. Decisions. The alarm goes off, and you rise. The task at hand is daunting, yet you persevere. The whispers of doubt may arise, but you continue to move forward. This is the essence of discipline, and this is how the fearless are made. Each time you act while feeling fear, you rewrite your internal narrative. You condition your mind to recognize fear not as a threat, but as information. Data that informs your choices rather than controls them. Reflect on your life. Are you living based on fleeting feelings or steadfast principles? If fear is still calling the shots, it's time for a change. Establish rituals that fortify your mind, surrounding yourself with reminders of your vision. Commit to taking one small, courageous action each day. And soon, you'll awaken to a life where fear no longer steers the ship. Picture this. You lay in bed, nearing the end of your life, surrounded not only by memories, but by the ghosts of unfulfilled dreams, risks untaken, and potential untapped. They look at you with one poignant question. Why did you let fear make your decisions? Fear, you see, doesn't just rob you of moments. It strips away your legacy. It convinces you to play it safe, to dim your light when you were destined to shine brightly. Imagine if you could truly grasp the cost of yielding to fear, the future it silently steals from you. Most people are unaware that they are actively choosing fear, while believing they are opting for comfort and security. In reality, they bury their greatness beneath a mountain of excuses, swapping impact for ease and legacy for a false sense of safety. To be clear, no one recalls the person who stayed silent in the face of adversity. No statues are erected for those who sidestepped failure. The world is moved by those who are frightened, yet choose to act anyway. Those who rise up, speak out, and move forward despite their anxiety. Fear will always offer you the allure of comfort, but your legacy, that requires embracing discomfort, accepting the reality of pain, hardship, and risk. It compels you to weigh what holds more significance, the opinions of others or your own self-assessment when the end arrives. Ask yourself now, what will your life echo when you're gone? Will it be a whisper of missed chances and silent regrets? Or will it resonate with the roar of someone who prioritized purpose over paralysis, action over avoidance, and courage over complacency? Understand this: you do not need to know every step along your journey, but you must resolutely refuse to let fear dictate your choices. Your legacy is being crafted regardless, and only one path leads to true freedom. If fear is a liar, then your daily routine is the truth teller. It is not merely a mindset that conquers fear. Discipline. Every day they engage in small rituals that crush fear before it can even take hold. Start each morning with a task that pushes you outside your comfort zone, not something reckless or overwhelming, but a deliberate act that quickens your heartbeat. A cold shower, an honest conversation, or a difficult phone call. By training your nervous system to withstand discomfort, you diminish fear's power. Secondly, move. Whether through running, lifting weights, or simply walking, physical activity disrupts stagnation, the breeding ground for fear. When your body is in motion, your mind follows suit, building confidence and clarity, allowing fear no space to linger. Thirdly, inject powerful language into your self-talk. Affirmations are not trivial, they are warfare. The thoughts you rehearse transform into the beliefs you carry. Stand tall every morning and declare, "I am not afraid, I refuse to shrink, I am here to lead." Repeat these affirmations until they become your reality, and act in ways that validate them. Fourth, focus on winning those early battles. Make your bed, arrive on time, or complete tasks you'd rather avoid. Starting your day with victories siphons fear of its power, and as you accumulate these triumphs, you create momentum. Momentum that makes the seemingly impossible feel inevitable. Finally, take time at the end of each day to reflect. Ask yourself where fear tried to influence you and where you pushed back. This practice refines your resilience and sharpens your resolve. You will become unshakable not by avoiding fear, but by confronting it repeatedly until it loses its grip on you. Remember, living a fearless life requires intention, repetition, and relentless self-respect. If you wish to subdue fear, don't wait for courage to strike. Train it, build it, cultivate it, one bold action at a time. Today, we don't simply acknowledge fear, we lay it to rest. Fear is extinguished when you cease to feed it, when you stop submitting to its dictates, and when you understand it wields no real authority, only the power you delegate to it. From this moment forward, reclaim that power. Say no to waiting, no to hesitation, and no to shrinking to fit the comfort of others or the false narratives of your past. You are not meant to live life on tiptoes, avoiding danger. You are designed to walk through fire and emerge transformed. This is your moment. Now is the time to bury fear, silence doubt, and take your first step. With every step forward, you will diminish your ties to hesitation until you no longer remember what it was like to let fear control you. When fear surfaces again, and it inevitably will, you will smile, fully aware of its game. You've studied it, outlasted it, and trained your mind and body to move steadfastly. Regardless, fear will no longer the growth it has prompted, and for the clarity it has provided. Then bid it farewell, for you have taken a decisive stand against letting fear dictate your identity. This is your opportunity. Embrace it fully. You are fearless because the decision to be so rests firmly in your hands. But remember, this is just the beginning. In the next chapter, we will delve deeper into how to cultivate unshakable confidence, not in abstract theory, but through daily, actionable steps. You have conquered fear. Now it's time to forge the warrior within you. Subscribe now because while fear may linger in the background, Your future is just beginning to unfold. Your other self, the one who never hesitates and never retreats, is waiting for you to rise.